Hey guys, so today's video is another cooking with Machin and Noah. Say hey, buddy. Hello. Are you already eating? You eating without me? Today's video is going to be creamy Parmesan chicken. This is probably everybody's favorite recipe that I've cooked. I'm not just saying that. I think of all things I've cooked, this is everybody's favorite. I think everybody unanimously agrees. I think I've tried it with 10 different people or 12 different people at least, and everybody loves this recipe. Easy to make. It'll take you about 30-35 minutes overall between prepping and cooking. If it's your first time doing this, then add a few more minutes, obviously, because you're going to experiment. You're going to have to look at the recipe. But as always, I'll put the recipe in the description below, and as well as the instructions, or I'm sorry, the ingredients and instructions. And so going right into it, you clean yourself, buddy. This is going to be, don't worry guys, I don't have the chicken unpackaged before y'all start freaking out. He's fine. So I have boneless chicken right here. I'm going to take 2 large boneless chicken breasts and cut them in half, okay? And I'll make 4, obviously. If you want to do more, like I said, you just increase the recipe, but you got the cutting board for the chicken. I'll show you how to cut those if you've never done it. Got salt and pepper to season the chicken. We've got olive oil to be able to cook the chicken in. We're only going to add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of that to be coating the bottom of the pan. It's not going to be thick. You're not going to like soak the chicken. It's just going to be on the bottom of it, more like simmering. And then we have Italian seasoning. We're going to do a tablespoon of that with a cup of whipping cream. I usually use heavy whipping cream. Regular is fine, but I could not find it in the store, so we're just going to use 1 cup of regular whipping cream, and I do a pinch of garlic powder. I just do a little bit on top. Hold on there, buddy. Don't go off the ledge. Come on. He can fly. He's a bird, but he doesn't fly very well. He's almost 21 years old, so... All right, stop. Hey, stop. Hey, stop. Thank you. And then lastly, it's going to be Parmesan cheese, and which I recommend doing a block of Parmesan cheese. The reason why I'm not, and you freshly, grade the block. The reason why I'm not is because I've done this so many times. I really just don't want to have to grade. It's just for myself, so I really don't want to have to grade the Parmesan cheese. So I just got some shredded Parmesan cheese from the store. You do a block and shred it. And honestly, you can do a cup, 2 cups, whatever. It's cheese, so put as much as you want in there, and I'll show you how to do that. And then obviously a food thermometer, because checking your chicken is probably the most important part. I think most commonly people dry out chicken. I'm gonna give you an easy tip to stop drying out your chicken. What you doing, buddy? You flying? Oh, good job. Good job. See, that was good. That was good. He almost went off the ledge and he actually flew back. So, anywho, chicken's really easy to dry out, and I never have an issue with this. Even on the grill, there's a real good, easy tip I'll show y'all. But if you always have issues drying out chicken, then you can always buy chicken thighs as well, and they're a lot easier to not dry out. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll show you how to cook this. Okay, so first things first, before we start cutting the chicken, we're going to turn on our oven to 375, and we want to cook the chicken after it's, put it in the oven after it's done cooking for 10 minutes at 375. This is how you stop drying out your chicken, and also make sure it's cooked all the way through. Chicken is very important to make sure it's cooked all the way through. You want it at about 165. And if it's at like 160, that's fine, because you're going to put it in the oven. This brings out a lot of the juices, and as well, it cooks it all the way through. That is how I do not dry out my chicken, because I had a chef actually recommend me doing that. I've done it every single time. It's just 10 extra minutes, and honestly, you can do it 5 to 8 minutes. I usually just pull it out around 8 minutes, but that's the recommended tip that he gave me. Works every time. So if you don't want to do that, like I said, that's an extra tip. Just use a food thermometer. Constantly check the chicken as it's cooking. Get it to 165. All right, so now we're going to cut the chicken breast, and we're going to cut it long ways. So I'm going to show you how. Okay, so you take the breast. You're not going to cut it like this. You're not cutting like this. You're cutting it in half, okay? So I'm cutting it from this end all the way to this tip, okay? The way I look at it is you find the tip of the chicken breast. You go to the other side and then cut towards the tip, okay? Always cut away from you. And you're just going to cut all the way through. Don't worry about the proportion size. As long as you hit dead center of where you start, it'll be fine. Just go all the way across. Don't worry about going up or down. Okay, voila. And now you can see These are 2 breasts. So this recipe, obviously, since there's going to be 4 breasts, calls for feeding 3 to 4 people. And if you want to double it, you can double it. A lot of people love the cream part of this and the, I guess you would say the sauce to the chicken breast. And so if you need to, just double the sauce, or if you want to, you can cook some more right after you're done. And say if you don't have enough sauce, it takes probably 6 or 7 minutes to make the sauce. I mean, it's pretty easy. So just double it, add another cup, add another tablespoon of Italian seasoning, which we'll go over here in a second. But there you go. I kind of messed up this chicken breast a little bit. That's like a chicken strip, but it'll be fine because it's just me. This is going to be a thick chicken breast, so I didn't cut that one the best. But there's the chicken strip. Oh, this is cracking me up. Okay, so after that, we're going to season this with salt and pepper. I use sea salt, and we're going to start cooking it. Okay, before we season, we're going to check on Noah. How you doing, buddy? You say hello? Huh? Doing all right? Okay, he's doing good. So we're going to season the chicken. So let me show you. So I don't know where I got this shaker, honestly. A lot of people ask me. It's electric. It's pretty cool. This is sea salt. I got this for a Christmas present years ago. Do not know where they got it. The brand is Wolfgang Puck, though. I mean, this is probably one of the best things I've ever gotten for my kitchen. I'm not even playing. All right, so we're just going to season pretty generously. It's got a little light on it too. So I'm covering both sides of the chicken breast with salt, okay? And the chicken strip. Flip over, same thing. Get the pepper, Noah, same thing. Flip it over. Okay, so yeah, I added about 6 tablespoons of olive oil because it was a larger pan. So usually it'll be about 3 if you have a smaller pan, but just, you know, that's enough. That's good enough to put on the bottom. Use your best judgment. Meanwhile, I've got black eyed peas and rice cooking. I'm not here to teach you how to cook those unless you just want to know, but really just open the can, put them in, put it on low to medium heat, let them cook for as long as the chicken's cooking pretty much. And then the rice is 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, and this will serve around 4 people for all of this. Okay, so now we're going to put in the pan. 1, 2, and 3. That larger one you're gonna have to check on. Obviously, if they're larger, you want to definitely keep it in there longer and check on quite frequently. That chicken strip's going to cook pretty quickly. And so the oil and everything's not going to splash, guys. We're going to put a lid on it. And this will take usually about 5 to 6 minutes each side, depending on the breast. That larger breast is going to take a little bit longer. I'll flip them every 5 minutes, and you'll see both sides going to have a brown look to it. And then just check it after you flip it that second time with your food thermometer. You're looking for 160 degrees. And while you're waiting for all this to cook, you can actually start prepping the sauce. You're going to use the exact same pan for the sauce after you're done using the chicken. So that's the good thing about this. You don't have to do it in a separate pan or anything. Use the exact same pan when you're done cooking the chicken. Like I said, this is for serving about 4. 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a pinch of garlic powder, and then 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, regular whipping cream, just whatever you can find, preferably heavy whipping cream. And then if you need more sauce, just double these 2, okay? Another cup, another tablespoon. Super easy. So we're gonna wait for the chicken to cook through, and then we're gonna add all this, and we're gonna turn it to low. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes at least. We're gonna check the chicken. All right. So you can tell the larger chicken breast is only about 130. You want to check the thicker part, it's about 140. This is 154, we're looking about 160. This is good. That's actually getting a little well done. The chicken strip, well done. These 3 are done, so I'm going to pull them off. The larger one, we're going to wait. If you're going to check also temperature of food, you do it inside the pan. You don't pull it off, because if you pull it off and set it down, it actually starts getting hotter inside. So we're going to pull these 3 off, let that one cook a little bit longer. The last chicken breast is done. This is what it's going to look like. Like I said, a little more brown edging is fine, but you can see how they are cooked. And then I'm going to turn this eye that this pan was in, I'm going to turn it into low to medium, okay? Turn it about 3 or 2.5 on my eye, or for my eye. I don't know about y'all's for y'all's stove. And we're gonna wait for this to cool off a little bit. Then we're gonna add the cream, the garlic powder, the Italian seasoning, and the Parmesan to that, okay? But right now, for the chicken breast to be all the way cooked through, like I said, you can pull them out 155, 150-ish. We're gonna put it in the oven to bring out a little bit of those juices. This is just something extra I do. You do not have to do this as long as it's cooked all the way through at 160. But I do this because it does bring out a little bit more juice, flavor, make sure they're cooked all the way through. So I'll put it in my oven for 10 minutes. I'll pull them out probably in about 6 or 7, but usually 375 for 10 minutes. Okay, so I let the pan cool for about 2 minutes. You can still see it's pretty hot, steaming. It's perfectly fine to add the cream. Okay, we got the cream in. It's gonna change color because of the recent chicken being in there. We're gonna turn down a little hot. We're gonna add the cream. We're gonna add the seasoning. It's fine if it bubbles up like this. It's fine. It only takes about probably 5 minutes to make the sauce. So that's why it's your last step. And then that was a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. We're adding just a pinch of garlic powder, not much. And then we're going to stir this. There it is. And we're just going to continue to stir. We're going to wait till this thickens. We're going to blend everything in. Like I said, you can add more sauce, guys, just by doubling the whipping cream and the Italian seasoning. And then the Parmesan cheese, like I said, you can grade, do a cup of it, 2 cups. That is totally up to you. But I'm going to just use it out of the bag because I'm literally cooking all of this for me. I'm only doing these cooking videos for y'all, thank you. But it gives me a reason to cook. I love cooking. And so we're gonna add the Parmesan cheese. I'm honestly gonna add a lot to it, and then I'm gonna be generous with it, and then I'm gonna add it on top of the chicken as well. Just being pretty generous with the Parmesan cheese. Honestly, I'm gonna probably turn it lower because it was so hot. So if you guys do this, I've done this several times, but you saw how quickly it bubbled and it was pretty hot. You can turn it down a little bit lower. You're just basically cooking this on a low simmer setting. Just making sure it's cooked all the way through, blended. And this sauce is the best part to the recipe. Okay, pulling the chicken out of the oven after a few minutes. Voila. I mean, who doesn't like cheese, right? And you can tell how much sauce like this is going to use between this. So, you know, a lot of people probably would double the recipe for the sauce for the chicken. Just because you want to cover your chicken, but you can see I've got plenty left. But I don't know. I usually just double it if I have a lot of people over here. But if it's just for yourself, I mean, that's plenty. I mean, good Lord, all of this is plenty. Alrighty. All right, so this is everything. We're gonna test it out. And like I said, the chicken is gonna have a tan to brown color. It's pretty much gonna be probably more dark depending on the oil left in the pan, but that is fine. You gonna let me eat, please? Please? It's kind of no? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. You know what? Stop. Thank you. Look, I'm eating your kind. And you can see chicken breast cooked all the way through. You're making sure it's white all the way through, and honestly, it'll be juicy every time if you do it correctly. It's no doubt, it's gotta be the freaking sauce. I mean, the chicken's good, as long as you don't dry it out, you put enough salt on it. But there's something about the sauce, and like I said, it only takes about 5 minutes to make. Dude, mind-blowingly good. Just whipping cream, garlic powder, Parmesan cheese, and Italian seasoning. And honestly, I used some cheapo Parmesan cheese, and it's still pretty good. So that's about it, guys. Noah's getting a little anxious. He wants to get put up. I'm gonna finish this food. You guys let me know if you try it, if it's a success, if people like it. Once again, I will put all the ingredients and instructions in the description below. And thank you for that.